So many people want to move to Thailand but have no idea how they're going to make money when they get there and don't understand that that is the number one reason why people end up coming back and not able to sustain that lifestyle once they travel abroad. And it's not just Thailand. I have a friend who's dealing with this in Peru. I have a friend who's dealing with this in Barcelona. I have a friend who's dealing with this in Costa Rica. I have friends all over the world who have packed up their lives on this journey to move abroad, but they forgot the number one piece to the puzzle, and that's making money. Yes, these countries are appealing. They're beautiful. There's palm trees and beautiful oceans and delicious, healthy food. But how do you sustain that if you cannot make money? I think that it's so important to do your research and not chase a dream of somebody else just because it's appeasing to the eye or because the cost of living is more affordable. Yes, this means that you'll be able to sustain it longer with savings, but it is much harder to find work in these countries, especially places like Thailand. In Thailand, if you are not a Thai citizen, it is very difficult to find work. From my understanding and my experience of living there for a year and a half, what I see people do is normally have a TEFL or bachelor's degree and they teach English, whether that be virtual through companies like Preply and Cambly, or going to schools and applying to teach English in person because those jobs are very important. A lot of people value native English speakers because they want to know both languages. They feel like they can be more successful in life if they know English, which I completely can understand. Me personally, I got lucky to find an English teaching job without a bachelor's degree out there, but that is not the case in most places. You require a bachelor's or a TEFL, so keep that in mind. Other jobs that people I know do are freelance work. I have a friend that is a life coach, and she had a very successful life coaching business that she did out there, but that was something that she built brick by brick from the ground on her own and had her struggles because she was doing that virtually, having to build clients, etc. It's not easy. I know someone who taught yoga by going to different hostels and retreats and offering these services, sometimes for little to no money until she could get her name out there and then people would pay her. You don't need a lot of money, but in order to sustain the lifestyle, you need to have some source of income. You can't go there and go apply for a job at the mall. You can't go there and apply for a job at a coffee shop. And some people get away with that, but most places will not allow that because when immigration gets involved, it gets tricky. You cannot work without a work permit. And a lot of companies are not willing to pay you to work there under a work permit because it just costs them too much when they can have somebody from the country that lives in the country work there for no additional hassle, for no additional fees. 90% of people who live in Thailand are either digital nomads, right? They have their already work visa set up. They work for an international company. I know people who work for companies that are US-based companies, but allow them to work overseas. And they're chefs that are so good at their skill that they're willing to, the restaurants are willing to pay for their work permits. They're dive instructors. That's another big hot commodity overseas in Thailand. But most people have their bag. They either have a retirement fund, they have a disability check, they have businesses back in the States that run themselves. So that money is used to help them survive. But I think that it's so important. Number one thing that you do before you come to Thailand, or even think about booking a flight to Thailand, because so many people are like, I'm moving to Thailand, Kalia. I'm going in 3 months. But I don't got a job. I don't know how I'm going to make money. I'll just apply for someone when I get there. And I'm like, yo, you might as well cancel your flight. Because if you haven't figured out how you're going to make money, you already think you're going there. In that 3 months, you're going to end up broke. You're going to end up running out of money. Because once you pay for your visa, once you pay for your accommodation, once you pay for your food, once you pay for everything, the little money that you saved up is going to easily dwindle away. So it's so important before you move or even book your flight to figure out how you are going to have sustainability. What is your thing? How are you going to make money while you are overseas? There's digital products that you can create. There's so many things, but you got to figure out what you offer that other people will be willing to pay for so you can sustain your life over there, or find you a virtual job that's willing to allow you to travel internationally. But you got to figure out your thing. I don't want nobody going to Thailand and not being able to afford it and having to come back. You know what I'm saying? I had my visa, and when it expired earlier than I thought it would, I needed X amount of dollars to re-up it. I didn't have $1,500 to do that because I wasn't making enough income. So I had to come back to the States, reset, and now I have income that I am going to be establishing while I'm here that I can take with me when I go back, so I don't run into that issue again, right? I learn from my mistakes, and I'm trying to help you guys do the same. That's why I'm going to be hosting a webinar where I discuss the visa options, the language barriers, the how to get your kids into school, and all the ins and outs of how to move to Thailand but make it last in my webinar, right? Because I don't want people to make the same mistakes I did. If I can help you, then why not? I love y'all, and I hope that this was helpful. Figure out that guap before you book that flight. I love y'all.